yeah, this is my meta character at 125. Yeah, I have these as well, even though I don't do a lot. And you can already see that I went full Stilovsky with the fashion there.
Oh yeah.
Just because I was like, okay, I have no idea what the new poise breakpoints are, and I think I went just for something 80, a little bit above 80, so it was 81, just to try things out. And here, this is my strength int build, and I actually just tried different weapons, just for the sake of it, in this invasion. And yeah, we're in the sewers with, I think, one Moonveil guy, and then the other with the, don't know what it is.
One Moonveil, one Blasphemous Blade. Both of the things that you really don't want to fight in little alleyways and pipes.
Yes.
Jesus. That's a brutal matchup. Though beautiful. I see everyone's pretty much got the same tactic here, which is we're in a tiny space. If I can fill that space with damage,
yeah,
then I will win.
Exactly, and I think this is how it works out at the end. So
it's a good idea. Oh, okay, so we've got several different tactics here. I get the impression that our host here is very used to dealing with invaders, or at the very least enjoys himself a bit of PvP on the side.
So, quick note here, you saw that Moonveil taking half of my health. That's because the Phantom is somewhere around level 200 something. I actually checked that. So, downscaling still doesn't work, but I think we found that out pretty quickly, most of us.
Yeah. No, the downscaling is still definitely a joke.
No.
But I'm very glad that, like, a Moonveil from a level 200 or whatever, from where you are currently at level 135 or whatever, that would do way more damage for patch. That might even have taken you down to, like, last hit or so.
Yeah.
But as we're seeing here now, oh god.
Yeah.
That was a poor decision on that host's part. He saw you pulling up that Ruin's Greatsword weapon art, but he still decided, no, wait, I can do the Blasphemous Blade faster, sure. I might have to retract my statement from before. He may have had a lot of invasions before, but I'm not sure he's such a PvP guy. This is very much a battle over the this T section of the pipe here, and the other one a little further up, because no one wants to fight in just a straight pipe, because that's a good way for everyone to be reduced into a Ash of War trading party. But the
we see that here.
Oh boy. Oh god. Classic.
Just the Moonveil spam, and it still works, so...
Oh, beautiful.
And this here, like, this character basically has just the base stats for Moonveil, so I think it's like something 18 int or something, and 20 dex, and the rest just went straight into strength, and it still works quite well, I found, especially just the range of it and being able to roll catch them just like before.
Before there was a lot to fear about Moonveil, but the things it has retained that are scary are the range and the speed at which it comes out. Like, it's faster with the same range as most of the Glintstone, Pebble or Comet sorceries, and it does comparable damage.
Yeah, and I would say that if you're on a dedicated Moonveil build, so full strength and dex, it still hits hard. Yeah, whereas at the base stats,
sorry, I'm sorry.
No. Whereas the base stats, it's okayish, I guess, but yeah, not as ridiculous as before the patch, definitely.
I actually did play around with it a couple of times on the weekend, and the thing I noticed really quickly was that it's supremely useful just as a utility thing. Yeah. It's really good at roll catching. It's really good at suddenly putting pressure on people. And I think the main part of it all is when you find it on a dedicated build, like Scorpion Charm, Shard of Alexander, all of that good stuff, then it does a huge amount of damage. But it still doesn't insta-kill you like it used to, so it's fair and scary rather than some bullshit to encounter during an invasion.
Yeah, absolutely.
It remains kind of bad in 1 versus 1 matchups just because it's really broadcast and easy to dodge because it's got that little audio indicator. But yeah,
No.
can I see that kill again?
Yeah. It's just your average rapier kill. Yeah, host just was like, yeah, let's trade.
Yeah. Someone was not used to the new poise breakpoint.
Uh,
I thought he was trying to do something else at the end there, but no, he legitimately just tried to keep smacking you.
no. Yeah, don't trade with frosting swords. Yeah.
Oh yeah, not anymore. And they're very, very oppressive now, especially because they do so much stagger.
No. One thing I want to highlight still was trying out the runes here. So this was my first crouch poke after the patch. And from the timing here, I'm not sure. Yeah, here you can see it. So here I get the first crouch poke. I'm not sure. Do you know if you can still cancel out of the recovery animation? Because I might have forgotten here.
I don't think you. I'm not honestly sure, to be honest. I never particularly played around with that part myself.
So I need to still test that. So here I almost also like you see the hit connecting there, right? But yeah, the double roll doesn't give me the damage. And okay, yeah, I think you still can because here you would have the recovery animation now.
Yeah, but
yeah,
go straight out.
Yeah, because I do the roll, right? So, and that's usually an indication for me that you, in theory, should still be able to cancel out of it. So yeah, that was my try with the crouch poke things, and I think I also went for the ultra here. But I
think you're definitely still able to cancel out of that animation. What it looks like is that they've just increased the time that it takes to recover, so there's more of that animation that you can't cancel.
Yeah, that's what it seems to me as well. So I still have to play around with these, but yeah, since the poise change, I still need to find the sweet spot where I can still carry those and not fat roll, basically.
Yeah. I understand that the optimal armor to wear has changed to, what was it? I read it was the Tree Sentinel's armor now, so I expect to see a lot of that going forward.
Tree Sentinel? Which one is that?
The big old golden boy.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So
I'm looking forward to it. I'm sick of seeing veterans everywhere.
Yeah, and in a week you will like be sick of
yeah, true.
Seeing golden boys all around the place. Yeah. But still, yeah. I think the. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say that Moonveil mix-up that you caught these two out with in this little bit of tunnel here is just going back to what we said before, a perfect example of how changing weapons constantly keeps your enemy on their toes and keeps them guessing as to what will happen next.
No.
Punishes complacency.
Yeah, absolutely.
I still love that.
the Moonveil trait here. Yeah.
It's such a classic.
Yeah, one thing I'm still discussing or like still trying to figure out is if the patch killed fashion in the sense of that it's you have still way less fashion options than before the patch to hit the breakpoints or like the new breakpoints with optimized gear in quotation marks. So yeah.
I think I'll agree on that, but I'm not necessarily going to blame the whole poise adjustment. I think it's primarily the fact that small fast weapons received as much of a poise boost as the larger ones. They really should not have.
Mm-hmm.
They should be, because it's exactly like it was in Dark Souls 3 with the longsword and whatever meta, where it was just if you had a fast weapon and you caught your opponent out when they weren't swinging, then you were pretty much on a roll. It would be extremely hard to recover from that.
The guaranteed second hit R1, you mean this one or?
It's mostly the fact that you can put people in a stagger chain with a small weapon while you're trying to swing a much slower weapon that doesn't really have that much of an advantage over a smaller weapon, since they both do a decent amount of stagger, and it turns everything into a poise race.
Okay, so do you think the meta will change from like just crouch poking ultras and big weapons to more smaller weapons now, or?
I think it will. I think the main reason that the crouch poke ultra was a meta in the first place was because of its speed, not really because of any other quality. It's the fact that it always staggered was definitely an advantage, but since both of those advantages have been shuffled to the lower end of town, I don't see
Mm.
really what the meta will have to do in the slower weapon area of things.
All right. Yeah, looking forward to that, I guess.
So I've already seen the Endure stock compilations, and
Mm.
it's so disgusting to look at.
Yeah, I had some fun with that myself. But yeah,
Oh, oh yeah, okay. So
I
this is one
see.
of those. Yeah, this is one of those big fight in small room deals, and I'm not usually super eager to join the host in a single room, but when there are a lot of pillars like this, like I mean, the other place that I immediately think of is in the prayer room in the Hallig Tree.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly sized place, but it has a lot of different pillars that you can use for cover and to break people up. So it works really well, from my understanding. Now, obviously, we see me reverting to my old sort of I will catch him out with the crouch poke way here, but
No.
we very quickly realize that it just doesn't catch people in the same way anymore. It still can, but it's better as a mix up for when they're charging at you, because it will hit them before they manage to hit you, unless they're also using something of comparable length.
Nice hit there.
That is why we see me using this thing at all, because it deletes people.
Yep, especially with the Royal Knights. Let's see. Oh, okay, that was interesting.
Yeah, this guy definitely had a little bit of latency from his end, but it wasn't a bad fight.
Uh,
He's actually using the pillars against me here, as he should be.
uh,
And I feel like that weapon art hits way softer now. I don't know
yeah.
what it was before, but it used to just take out 60-70% of my health.
Plus, it always also staggers you quite a lot, or did used to stagger you. And here, I think it barely staggered you at all, if I can see this correctly. So he gets. Wait. So sorry, I need to do that frame by frame. Yeah. See. So this would already stagger me back in the past, I think. And yet the follow up didn't hit you. But
I
just
think that's right, actually. Yeah, I think it used to always stagger me as well, but
yeah.
it's definitely been.
Yeah, just the
Uh,
fact that this doesn't stagger anymore. Sorry to interrupt, but the fact that this doesn't stagger anymore means is huge in 3v1 or 2v1 scenarios, because that always got me here. Just one stagger from this, and then
mm,
three other people like just standing next, spamming some shit would always kill me. Especially now that you're not allowed to heal as well. So
that's
yeah,
exactly what was dangerous about it. It's
uh,
it's the moonveil effect, really. Like it's one of those weapons where it's not really that great on a one-on-one situation. You want to use something else if you're in that situation, but if
no,
you're got the numbers advantage, then you're just adding your own special hell to something that's already dealing a lot of damage. So it's just an infinite Albinoric pot that you have.
yeah, absolutely. I like seeing that get nerfed actually.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to have been. I must admit, I'm pretty sure I was above 90 poise in this, so I was thoroughly at break point, and it
Okay.
looked from that like I was still in the end of a thrust animation, so I might have had hyper armor, but
Hmm.
I'm not sure exactly.
No. And like, yeah, we should remember that like all of the Ashes of War have been downscaled. So
Mm.
yeah,
As they damn well should be. I'm so glad that that
no,
has happened because things have turned into a much more considered match of actually, using the weapons rather than simply having an object that lets you use a weapon art.
yeah. One negative aspect of it though is that it's much harder to delete one person from a group.
Mm.
So I found that Waves of Darkness, for example, doesn't hit as hard anymore. And that was always my go-to delete button when I just needed one of the phantoms gone. So just run away around the corner and then turn and burn them. And I would usually always get one phantom like this. And nowadays it's much harder to just remove one from the equation, I found at
I've,
least.
I've definitely noticed that. I ran straight into a Waves of Darkness yesterday, and it only really did about half of my health before I got out of it. I didn't get hit by the third wave, but
No.
you still used to do way more than that.
No. Another thing I also had, not sure if no, I don't have it in here, but the Stormhawk X, the Thunderstorm,
Oh yeah.
it seems to not stagger that much anymore, but I'm still doing some testing on that. So
Mm. I
yeah.
mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm fairly sure. Well, in my opinion, I'm fairly sure that those objects, like the big turn and burns that we had for pre 1.07, they were kind of required, I guess, because everyone did so much damage. If you couldn't kill someone extremely quickly,
Mm-hmm.
you were just dead, or you just wouldn't get the kill. But
Yeah.
now that damage is much more manageable and getting hit once isn't an instant sign to back off, you can afford to pressure people more, you can afford to isolate people more. And though it is definitely harder to kill individuals in a group,
Mm.
you are still very much able to, and you're able to, in my opinion, more reliably because it doesn't just come down to one lucky hit anymore.
All right. Fair point. Yep. Very fair point.
So it's harder, but more reliable, I guess.
No.
Easier to control.
All right. Perfect. Anything else you want to add here? I haven't. Well, we saw the Ultra, the Frosting Sword. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I was still playing around with the Gugs at this point, but I mainly included this clip just because both me and the host used the pillars and the environment in this fight just in very different but useful ways. I was using them to break people up. He was using them as cover for healing. It was just a good example of how one small room can still have very important terrain.
Yeah, and if you want to be a super scummy invader, you could always run around Gurok here
Yeah,
and
that
hope
is
that
very,
he
very doable.
and hope that he just hits him. That would be a great assist, and it
I've
wouldn't
seen
pose.
people do that at Bogart in Roy Prawn Shack as well. That's
Yeah. All right.